Hello everyone, this is Biggie, and today we're going to be going through some of the Star Trek Online's if you want to be serious about Star Trek Online. And this is about having a science ship and also to have a science character plus having a science build. Now, what we mean by a science build in this sense is you do have three different things that you could want to build for your character in your captain skills. So, we do have space skills and ground skills. We also have certain traits. Now, for space skills, we do have the three, which is engineering, science, and also tactical. So, as you go by, you will be granted space points to be able to use, and as you go, you'll be able to add more. Once you become like a lieutenant commander and then eventually a commander, you'll be able to start using these, and you'll be able to select them. Now, science builds would most definitely go through more of the build of having more science-related abilities. Now, one of the things for damage in science would be the exotic particle generator. And the reason for this is because a lot of your science abilities go through the deflector disc, which uses exotic particles. And so, in order to make sure of all that, you would use that for that. And so I hyped it up for this particular one, due to the fact that this particular ship is actually a very strong science ship. Not extremely, but it is quite up there. And so, also just want to let you know that science ships, they do not have cannons, which when it comes down to battling with weapons itself, is probably one of the least powerful, unfortunately. But you can build up the beams. You can also build up your torpedoes. But this is a reason in many ways to go for the science. Now, of course, you'll need protection. You'll need to have a little bit of that. The protection does go a bit with the hull would be more of the engineering, while shield is science. Okay. Now for ground, there's weapon and endurance, which endurance is more about hardiness or being able to have your health. So the more you have, the better. But you only have a limited amount of points that you'll be able to spend. So depending upon your character, how you want to do that, you can do that. Now, here's another thing that does add on to it. So you get these little ones over here. And you're able to actually change things as you go, depending upon how you use it, how you want it, etc., etc. And so only if you, of course, you get there. Like for an example, I haven't gotten here, so I can't use that. Or this one either. Now in one of my other ones that I have, it's more related to tactical. We will go through that in another session. Now you are given traits practically almost from the very beginning. They do evolve a little bit, but these traits, they're basically they're buffs. They're things in order for you to have more stronger abilities and whatnot. So you select them, like if you use a lot of rifles and assault training, assault rifles, you can use that. For medical, You can do that. For more protection, it's good to be able to have a resiliency and stubbornness. And on kit performance, the reason why I use that is because kits is where you have a lot of your abilities. Now for science, there's a lot of science abilities. And those are different things there too. Then we go into here, which is for your space traits too. So you have a lot of different things to go through also. So you want to be able to go through and make sure of your trainings and be able to use exactly how you want it. Like for example, this photonic capacitor. Being a science, and using the science, you are able to have an ability to call upon two or three different photonic generated ships. Basically, they're kind of like hard light holographs that they come about and they help you with like having real battle. They're not probably the best, but they definitely are helpful. Since this ship does not have an actual hangar, and to actually have little ships, which my main one actually does have that, it changes things a little bit, but he's also a science person. I have found that at least the way I do things, I like science the best. Engineering is great for survival and support. And of course, tactical would more or less be able to be attacking. So, and I do usually recommend to be able to have a somewhat similar skill for it in order to do that. Now, depending upon how you want to do it, if you're good with being a supportive kind of character, which I don't think I am, but a lot of the ships that I like actually happen to be supportive. Like for an example, the Galaxy class starship, the Enterprise, and all that. Also, of course, the future Enterprise from the last TNG episode with the 3 engine that I do have for one of my other characters. That's more of a supportive, although it does have certain attacking abilities. We also have this part for starship traits. Now, you do get them throughout the game as you're going by a lot of your missions that you get. As you go by missions, you're able to get these, and you are able to restart these missions to get more different ones. I actually did this not with this particular character, but for my main character, just to see how it goes. And sometimes they come up with extra abilities, so you can actually build your character to have quite a few more abilities. And I will be going into my main character eventually. But the reason why I want to select this one is because this is a big main science vessel. My vessel that I have is kind of like it's considered multi-mission for the other. And in other words, there's a good amount of science, there's a good amount of a tactical, and there's a decent amount for engineering. So eventually you get certain ones, and depending upon what you do will be dependent upon what you get, how you want it. You do actually get one when you open up your first T6 ship. You'll have to eventually move it up and have upgraded it to a certain degree. There are ways to upgrade while you are doing events. or you can actually pay for it, or you can actually buy it through the exchange. There's a variety of ways that you can actually do it, but it takes time. If you're going to be doing the exchange, if you're going to be doing the events, it's going to take time. So as you go by, you'll be getting these and you'll be able to get through them. Now these locked ones are when you are these locked ones are for when you are doing a research through the research lab through your fleet. And you get into fleets for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it's for support. You also support them with some of the things you get. And then eventually you get like a certain amount of fleet credits as you go. Okay, so these over here are extended buffs that you earn through reputation. I will be going through the reputation part of it because these are actually pretty important. You do gain extra abilities, extra things you can do. These things can be mighty helpful. Actually, I might want to do a few certain things here. Might actually make me better. Okay, I'm going to probably need that though. Let's see here. So these are from a variety of different ones that I get from a different. Let's see. Yeah, that would be a good one. I think I might do that one. Okay, some of these things are actually good for me right now. Okay. And then you also eventually, once you become, I believe either it's a captain or like a lower admiral, you're able to get specialization points. So with these specializations points, it gives you certain extra abilities and extra buffs as you go by. So as you are running and doing a variety of different things, you'll be able to do them more effectively. Certain things will actually become available for you to use. Okay, so, and you get to pick two of them. You get a primary and a secondary. And they do give you extra abilities from time to time. Much like, for an example, in this one, gets you to be able to, you'll actually be able to survive better, and if you're about to die, you'll teleport out and gain extra health or extra points back to be able to keep going into the fight. It also helps you with some of your attacks that you have that are science. Now, the things that I have here, I've tried to update as much as I could. It goes up to, you see the Roman numerals of 15 here. These are how high it goes. You can get them to be into a gold status, which is considered epic, which usually has additional add-ons to it. Now those are phasers. For this particular ship, I only have 2 different phaser arrays. Now they have different levels like tetrions and antiprotons, and you get a variety of these too. The reason why I focus mostly on photon torpedoes or the torpedoes is because they're far more effective for me. Now these are good little extras that you can get at a particular time when you start getting duty officers and be able to actually grab some. Now these are helpful when you first start, but eventually it's kind of not needed. Eventually you get better shields. You can select which ones you are able to upgrade them. And sometimes they have added extra abilities. Now, as you can see here, there's an extra set. You can actually get them from doing more from the same particular mission. So if you redo them, you'll be able to get the sets. So once you get 2 sets of this, you'll be able to have an increased 19 Starship Exotic Particle Generator. And then if you get the 3 sets, which maybe I should go for, from what I can tell for what I have, I'll be able to use energy resistance and all that, so it'll actually give me more abilities. Same thing with these kinds of things, you get certain ones, so I'm going to have to pick and choose which one I want. It's the same thing also with some of these. Some areas will actually have them, and you'll actually have to find out which ones you have. My other ship, the main ship, actually does have 2 different ones for it that I have. Now this one is a fully upgraded. So as you can see, I have this. Now it's supposed to have thing on here, but it is actually on there. So I don't know why it has that there, but it's actually there. So as you are doing, when you first get your T6 ship, you have to go through either missions or do a patrol, and it'll increase. So you first start with this, it increases a buff, does another buff, increases another buff, until at the very end you'll not just get this, but you'll also get this as one of your main abilities to be able to use. Okay. Now for reputation. Now you did see a lot of the buffs that I had, extra buffs over here. This is where you actually get those buffs, is right here. So if you see on the right side, your first time you get medical nanites and an omega weapon proficiency. This is when you complete this one here. These of course are just for your ground. This is a ground. When you get this, this is actually for your ship. So you get more as you go. So for an example, if I do this, it'll increase it, but you'll have 20 hours to wait for it. But you have increased it and go through that. Now as you go, each one of these get increasingly better, increasingly more powerful. These are the active kinds. This one's the ground. This is kind of a recommended one to actually for a ground, because of course it's medical. It may actually help you. It also will be able to get you access to more things. You're able to get connected with better armor, better stuff. You'll also be able to get connected with better shields, and also get these all connected together. So for an example, if I connect everything, all of these together, we'll be able to have an extra set ability to have remodulate weapons. So some of them are highly recommended. I have this particular one in my other ship. So what I have on mine is I have all 4. So I have the power of math on mine. So it gives me this extra ability to be able to use. So once I have all 4 of those, that's what I can. If I only have 3, I'll have the mycelial lightning, which is actually quite good too, to tell you the truth. So It's recommended if you want extra abilities. Now for ship-wise, to be able to have a really good strong power for your sciences, you need to have strong Starship Exotic particulate generator and also a good strong drain. See, do I have? Okay, that has the control, and this has the drain. So the stronger that you have that, the better. So that is a highly recommended one. Anything with protection and an extra exotic is highly needed. And then, of course, as much as you can update all your abilities. Now, the thing about getting more and more involved is as you go, you'll do events. Now, one of the events is gone now. That event is actually gone, the seasonal one. You may have seen it in a different one that I actually was doing one. What you do is once you do an event, you will get the ability to get stuff, depending upon the event. This last one, I was able to get this Cnidarian Defender. That is the one where you can be a jellyfish from the first TNG episode, the encounter at Farpoint. And it's considered, I think, more of a support particular vessel. It's good, but it's more for support than not. Okay, this is where you can get all the extra abilities that you get through the events. Some of these are really efficient, some of these are great, others not. And in my other video, I did show about the Kumarki Vision, the Visionary kits and everything, which I have for this character. But as we go by, we will go through all that. So for an example, this one I was able to get through an event. This, and this I got through that one last event. And it gives me a huge power of abilities. Good shields. Very good shields. And so it gives me a lot of extra abilities to be able to use. It really is a good workable kind of thing for that. So let's go ahead and let's do something here. Okay, so as you start, you probably noticed your abilities. So circle, of course, is your tactical, your engineering, your science, and this is some of your abilities that you eventually gain. And also, these are the extra abilities that you get. Like this one, you actually get through doing, you're actually doing the Undine one, which is the 8472. And this one is from the Iconian. These are actually really good. This one is from Romulan, I believe, which is actually really good too, because as you can see, 100 plus science stats makes you cloaked for a few seconds, and then gives you an extra added ability. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a patrol. Let's see, what's a good patrol to do? Let's do this one. It's a Klingon one. Look at all those people. So here is talking about a particular event that's coming up. So it says here, as you can play, you'll all through the year, you can have one premium T6 ship or select two of ships that you can actually buy in the store. That's something you can actually do. But you have to work for it, and you have to do it for a full year.
Eventually, the systems regulating their antimatter containment fields will fail. I think you know what happens after that. Yes, I have started to modify the countermeasures we have used.
Remain vigilant as we approach those vessels. I have studied recent records of battle.
Okay.
Enemy ships inbound, on an attack vector. Countermeasures are ready. Use them to restore the Korath vessels.
So as you can see, a lot of my science was actually used.
I do not know how you did it, and I do not guess.
Why it's so dark?
May return as well. Only this time.
So as you can see, with my science abilities, I actually have temporal abilities that have entropy, and I can get them at any time. This one I actually had to buy for a pretty decent amount of about 15 million credits. So this one took time, but this actually helps with this at the same time. So there's a lot of stuff. Now this additional stuff that I actually have here is based on a lot of my abilities, but it's also based on what I have active on my roster. They actually do have a gravitational scientist, a pretty good strong one that's in a pretty purple, which is kind of a rare or very rare kind of one that has extra abilities. The more you have for that, the more powerful your abilities will get at the same time.
It's him, Admiral Devar.
And this is where I'm gonna have to do all extra stuff. Let's see here. Oh, I don't have anything. Not for this character. Not always best for the big guys.
I shall return. Reading a containment field collapse on one of the Korath vessels.
Nope.
We were too late.
They're doing.
Do not abandon.
Very well.
An enemy force just dropped out of warp.
Okay, time to start the fight. So you saw that I did an extra ability with the shield. This extra ability is what I get for this ship. Each ship has these abilities. All the T6 ships, and actually some T5 ships, will have certain abilities that you're able to actually get. So some of them, like for an example, the Enterprise
It's time to restore the last Korath vessel.
will have for saucer separation. My Prometheus one can separate out.
I am Contract, son of
It's
Control.
3 parts,
I need the forces
like
of
from
South
Voyager.
Korath in this system. Admiral DeVere, now that you have
Captain, while I
And you will actually see that
it is his duty. I understand.
very well.
in a future episode.
Attention.
Yeah. Sorry.
Admiral, they're on a collision course. Evasive action. There's no time. Right for him.
Hey, they're doing my job. Come on. That's not how you do Ramsby. Well, there you have it.
Ah, we are victorious.
I don't know why that's at. Alright, so after this I'm going to conclude, because I need to get going. It's a co-op night, so you might actually see us do a little more Lego Star Wars. Alright, so, and then as you're doing these, you get the awards. And so if you're working on something, then it's best to go ahead and put them in one and be able to, so that you can actually use it for your reputations. Oh yeah, one more thing. We do have our fleets. As you're helping the fleet, you get fleet credits. And the more credits you have, the more you're able to be upgraded on your fleet. Each fleet is different. So, let's see, how much do I have here? I got plenty. Wow. Then it tells me how much credits I'm going to be getting for that. I've got a lot of credits for some reason. How much do I have left? I think I'll keep a few. So, and then as you do, once you go ahead and do that, that is how you'll be able to unlock these areas as you go. You will also be needing, for most of them, you will be needing a lot of dilithium also, which, since you can only refine 8,000, each day. I can't like refine all the 397 and be able to use that. And then let me clean this out. And as you are getting your reputation, you get certain things. And some of them are actually quite nice to be able to use. Some of them that I've gotten have been really great. Now I usually remove a lot of the extras. One of the ones that I did remove, let me see if I can see if it actually kept it. No, it did not. There was a particular box. Now you can, if you get keys to the box, unfortunately you usually buy them in some form or another, either through the exchange or with actual real money. You'll be able to open and find different things. Sometimes you will see, you know, this particular person got in, you know, an Epic T6 ship or something. That's actually predominantly from that. And so those are things you can work on. All right, folks, I'll need to get going. But as you can see here, the science ship uses almost practically everything of science will have strong strength to use. All of them. And due to the fact that what I have helps with exotic damage and draining abilities, there's a whole lot more to it. This also includes this, which is the tachyon beam. And the tachyon beam, this beam is actually probably my strongest. It's stronger than my beams, all of my beams probably together, because it really takes them down. If they don't have shields, it takes down their hull quite well. There's actually something even better that I could actually use instead if I wanted to. Let me see here if I have that available. I technically should. Yeah, the stabilizing beam. This one could also be used too. Now the only problem with the stabilizing beam compared to this is this one doesn't take much time to cool down. This one takes a lot more time. So, but this one's probably much more powerful. So as you can see here, you'll have all of that. You'll be able to gain a variety of different ways, and you just have to play around. That's right, I need to do one little upgrade. Let's see here. How much do I have anyway? I'm not so sure if I can upgrade. Alright, well, alright folks, well, take care. And probably my next episode might be tomorrow. And I might be doing both my... Well, the next episode might have a co-op, I'm not sure. For tonight, we'll see. But my next Star Trek one will probably be tomorrow. Take care.